of Kev, Marcus, and the third Mike, and we're joined by the real Honey Badger, not to be confused with all the fake Honey Badgers. So, let's see. Hello, I'm Blage. I'm the GM. I'm running this show, or at least I pretend I am. How's it going? My week's been pretty good so far. Monday, Tuesdays, pretty good. Woken up, had coffee, went to work, had more coffee, got home, had more coffee. I've been watching roleplay Swan Song like a lot because I kind of fell off watching it when I was watching a lot of Mirror Shades and West Marches, but they had like 20 episodes or so of the Swan Song backlog, and I went back, found out when I stopped watching it, and I've been watching it now. I'm loving it. It's some real good. Some stuff's happened that makes me very happy. There's some chuckles going on. Of course, there's always the problem that happens is because I watch it when I'm going to sleep. So I'll get into bed, put my Swan Song on, and I'll wake up the next morning going, how far through the video did I get? I don't remember. Makes it very awkward when I'm restarting the video because I have to kind of skip around a bit.
Any weird dreams?
No, unfortunately, I'm the sort of person I don't remember my dreams, or at least very rarely. Like I must dream. Everybody dreams. It's a fact, but I almost never remember it when I wake up. So I do talk in my sleep though, and that's a known thing. So who knows? What did I watch recently? It was Divergent. Watch Divergent? Anyone else watch that? It's kind of like a teen movie, I think. It's along the lines of the one with Katniss Everdeen.
Yeah.
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games. There we go.
Mockingbird thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. There's like this society with 5 castes. They're all like these 5. Everybody's separated into these 5 clans, essentially, dependent on one particular character trait. And apparently everybody has one of these specific character traits, except the main protagonist. And it's like, oh my god, she's different!
Special.
And it wasn't too bad. I mean, it kept me engaged for the 2 hours of the movie. So, there was that. Been watching Game Grumps. Game Grumps is good. Small YouTube. Work's picking up again. It was been quiet the past week or two because I work at a lab and we get a lot of stuff from the councils to analyse, so it comes in every month. And it was just so quiet. It's like, must find work to do. I cannot be seen not doing work. Must work. And it's hard when you're trying to find it. I think that's everything really. Not much else. In a good mood. Looking forward to having some people run around and frolic. I'm excited to see what will happen because not entirely sure. I haven't been doing much prep the last week. I've got everything pretty much prepared, so it's just waiting to see how it plays out at the moment. And Swan Song is making me want to play Stars Without Numbers again. It's been a while since I played a game of that, and because I'm using the faction system for this game, it's making me want to do it for Swan Song.
Yeah,
not Swan Song, for Stars Without Numbers.
The faction system on this is based on the faction system of West Marches, and the one on West Marches is based off Swan Song.
Pretty much. But I'm just also because in Stars Without Number, it's very good at delimiting zones because there are separate planets and separate systems which you only access by these jumps. Whereas because I'm transposing a system from that game into this game, it makes it a bit more blurred line. Where do you distinguish how far a thing can do a thing? Because there's no like, oh, well, 2 days west, you can no longer reach there because the space. It's like
there's a mountain range in the way.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense for me to arbitrarily just put like mountain ranges around every hex zone. So
stand by while you go through this loading zone.
Sandstorm, magic, continuum thing.
Yeah, but the problem is,
be creative.
the problem is that would also affect players. How annoying would it be for players if you like walk for a bit and then suddenly there's some impassable barrier which you have to spend a week traveling through before you get to anything interesting? You'd be like, what the fuck?
Well, it's not like I'm
DM
gonna blame you after this game anyway, so...
Oh well. Anyway, so that's me basically. So Mike, the third Mike. Although
Not the
there
one
are
and only.
The third, Mike the third. How's your week been? Feels like I saw
Great,
you
it's-
only last Tuesday.
Saturday it was actually.
Oh God, was it?
It was the special session.
Ah, it's been 2 sessions. There was 2 sessions since the 3 mics. Yes.
No, it's just Joe who's always recurring every week. No, since last time we spoke, I actually finished all my final written exams. So, bar 2 oral exams, I will be a perfectly prepared teacher in September.
So have you been placed yet, like in a school, and done the thing where you like teach for a bit, or is that the next step?
No, I've been at university now, so the next step will be being placed in a school somewhere in Bavaria. It's only located in Bavaria, since Germany is a federal republic and I'm Bavarian, so I can only be in Bavaria. Then I will be basically a trainee teacher for 2 years, and afterwards I'm done.
Okay.
So, knock on wood, everything will be going fine.
So you still awaiting your results then?
Dreading them.
Awaiting them with eagerness and happiness. You got some D&D to take your mind off things. I'm sure killing some innocent farmers will.
I
Ease your
never
mind.
partook in killing innocent farmers.
They were just
We just watched
sitting
how
there
the
in a
panther
fort.
ate.
Oh yeah.
Not- No, not on my watch.
You're a terrible monster.
But I am good at killing stuff. Character-wise, for the others, we haven't met yet. I've been watching you in the videos, so I know who you are. Asham Iron Fist is the name. I am the Asham Iron Fist's unbeaten gladiatorial champion of the Empire's capital. Yes, that's me. Why I had to leave? I'm not saying I did, but rumor has it I was involved in some kind of betting scandal that shook the Imperial Court, and I didn't want to hang around to check it out. So, yeah. I'm a stocky, buff dwarf with a massive, magnificent beard. It has a slight reddish tint to it, but that might just be a trick of the light. Who knows? Barbarian by trade. I like hacking stuff and beating people.
Barbarian is
And
a
I'm
trade.
really good at it.
Barbarian is a trade? Is
No,
that
it
what
is
you,
my-
put on the
It is my
posters?
soul and my being. I am the barbarian.
Oh, I'm just imagining them announcing you at the gladiatorial fights. Barbarian the Barbarian! He is here from Barbaria to Barbarian!
From
Oh.
Bavaria, the Bavaria... Yeah, no, don't get me started.
Okay. So, Honey Badger, how are you? How have you been doing since ever? Tell me about your life. Who are you? What's going on? Introduce yourself to the internet.
Well, I've been playing D&D since the early 90s. Branched out into a lot of other RPGs for a while. And I work at a manufacturing job, so work nights, rotating shift schedules, so it makes it difficult to get into a regular game. So this off-the-cuff kind of system works really well. Lately, though, things kind of sucked. I had 2 teeth pulled yesterday.
Ooh. You on pain meds for that?
Yep. So I'm feeling good right now.
You're gonna play drunk the entire game? Like
No,
character-wise, not
quite
you.
drunk. Sorry, what was that?
Character RP-wise, I mean, not you. Just so you can mask the effect of the drugs.
Oh, it's not that bad. I only took 1 pill, not 2. 2 of them makes me loopy.
Wait a second.
Don't. So, you played a lot of D&D then?
Yeah, I've run more D&D than I've played, though. I've almost always ended up being the DM.
Yep. DMing's fun though. You get to see
Yeah.
the looks on everyone's faces. You kill their favorite character. True happiness.
Yep.
So, watched any good movies lately? Been watching any series? Anything like that going on?
I watch too many TV series. It's not much to do during the day when you're working nights and have a few hours between the time you have to sleep and then get back ready to get back up for work.
But nothing caught your interest at the moment, all just same old?
iZombie is pretty good.
iZombie?
Yeah,
seen
it's
that one.
the she's like a medical morgue assistant. Got turned into a zombie, so she eats brains, and they have a unique thing where the character, when the zombie eats a brain, it experiences and takes on personality traits and memories of the persons whose brain they ate. So
Yes.
she's been helping solve crimes.
The moment you said she was a coroner, I was like, click. I haven't watched it, but I was talking to someone that was watching it. I wish I had a better memory, but so that's good then, is it?
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
Well, speaking of good series, Vikings season 4 is now out. Yes, I will watch that at some point when I get through my current backlog. So anyway,
I need
pardon?
I need to start Viking Series 1. I've always meant to. I just keep putting it off.
It's pretty good. Also, The Last Kingdom. I watched that as well. There's only one season of that though, but it's like Vikings light. It's like if you watch Vikings and you haven't had enough Vikings, watch Last Kingdom.
The thing though with Vikings is they're not 100% historically accurate, and that annoys me so much. It annoys me so much.
Oh,
Like they don't know where
historical
England
accuracy.
is and stuff like that. It's just no. Can't watch it too much.
England's over there somewhere. It's fine. Okay. Anyway, Kev, how you been? What was it? Week?
Well,
Half?
it's been a
Oh,
week
just
and a
week,
half
just
slightly.
Oh,
Well,
oh yeah.
it feels like a week and a half.
Yeah.
But oh man, I've had a fantastic week. On Monday, I played in a game where we basically went into like a forgotten abbey, and we went through a tunnel system, 3 level 8 characters and a level 6 character, and then as we were going up this massive staircase, this tunnel network that's like straight staircase going up about like 300 or 400 feet, lined with the sides with all these like alcoves with dead bodies in them. They all started getting up and then started grabbing at us and chasing us. And so we started running because there's way too many of them. So by the time we got to the top, we had about 200 vampires chasing us up the tunnel. And so I turned right around, and while I was running, I was like looping together 5 oil flasks with rags tied to the top of them. And then I lit them, and then I was holding them in one hand. With the other hand, I ripped off a patch from my robes of useful things, and I threw a rowboat down the ramp, and then threw the oil flask on the rowboat, and the rowboat on fire rolls down the ramp and splashes like 80 or 90 zombies.
Oh, that is. I'm sorry, but the sentence, and then I pulled a patch off my useful robe, and I just lit the rowboat on fire and threw it down the stairs. That's got to be the best thing I've heard all week.
Yeah, and it was a hilarious run, and and we managed to kill like a challenge rating, like 13 or 15 vampire lord with like our characters, which is just ridiculously like we just got rolls after rolls of like crits and like 22s and 27s, and just absolutely demolished them. And also
RNG.
in a game that I ran yesterday, I killed my first player.
Killed your first player. Oh, the first one,
Yeah.
always special. How was it? Did it taste good?
It's funny because I sent them to help an NPC build a bridge across a chasm that was created by an earthquake. It rented like a road network in half. And as they were building it, they disturbed some boulders which stood up and turned into rock elementals. And one rock elemental. And the earth elemental picked up a boulder and threw it at one of the players and knocked him unconscious. And then, it threw it at the player and took the player out of her beast shape. And then in the next turn, the boulder that he threw got up and turned into a Galeb door. and then started animating boulders around itself, and then killed her. So yeah, it was great.
I don't think she thought that was that great. Just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta
there's
toss that game
still-
up to her every now and then.
There's still a chance that she's going to get revivified because they did manage to get a gentle repose on her. So
Revivify. Resurrection.
uh,
That'll never happen.
but yeah, that's about my week. It's been fun.
Good to hear. Watched anything else? Watched anything else? Have you watched any TV?
I guess
movie?
I started watching. I thought it was going to be like kind of corny and like kind of I don't know how to describe it, slapstick but I started watching Lucifer and it's actually pretty good.
I love it.
I have a housemate who is watching that, and he can't get enough of it. It's
Like I was expecting very, very low bar when I went into it. I was like, I was going to watch one episode of this and then I'm going to like, fuck it. But I started watching it and it's actually pretty good. Like I've just kept watching.
No, my housemate had a friend who was like, "Hey, watch the first episode of this show. Hey, watch the first episode of this show. Hey, watch the first episode of this show." And Lucifer was the one that stuck. So he's been trying to get me to watch that while I've been trying to get him to watch Jessica Jones because I'm still watching that.
Oh yeah,
it's good.
Jessica Jones is really good as well.
Both really good.
Well, he prefers Lucifer. I prefer Jessica Jones. I actually haven't.
Oh,
I actually haven't watched an
it's
episode
funny.
of Lucifer yet.
Because I watched Jessica Jones in the entire season in one day.
I'm still not done. I just don't have enough time. I've got to prepare for D&D. I've got to work. I've got to die playing XCOM. My God, that game.
Kill so many player characters. It just takes its time.
I haven't killed anyone yet. Everyone's doing
Yet.
fine.
Not for lack of trying.
Well, I don't try. I simply
The dice
adjudicate
do
the
it.
world.
Yeah, the dice.
Like, if I was actively trying to kill you, it would just be terrible. Like, everyone would hate me and you wouldn't enjoy yourself. Because as the GM, if you want to kill everyone, you can. So
yeah.
you can't try to do it otherwise. Otherwise, everything just falls apart. But no, XCOM 2, I saw the death screen for the first time, like the you lose the game screen. Because normally I'm like, okay, this game is going downhill, quit, start again. Okay, this game is going downhill, quit, start again. But it was going downhill. But I had like 2 days and one objective that I could attack to, stop the timer. So I attacked the objective and I just got wrecked. A 5-man squad ran into 6 enemies that they were just like blah, and it was a massive. It was like, that moment where you're like, okay, this mission really matters. I must take it very seriously and go one step at a time. And then you step the first step into it and it's just, oh, that's how it's going to be. Bleh. I think it's the player equivalent for D&D of you entering a dungeon and you encountering wandering monsters while in a room that's trapped as the exit closes behind you. It's just like, no.
Seriously, I'd highly recommend if you're playing on like a harder setting and playing on Iron Man mode to bring a support guy along with that sensor orb thing. Because that helps you so much, like just locating pods and stuff. And be aware of not pulling.
I had a playthrough where I researched the sensor orb first, and on the first retaliation mission, it went so well. It was just like, oh, that's where the alien that's hiding is. Hello, bang, 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 bang. Oh, I hate those. It's like, oh, I'll just stand next to this civilian to evac him from the... Oh, no, he's an enemy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So much sad. So much sad. And they have so much health and they regenerate. Oh. Anyway, sorry. Marcus, how's your week been? What's it been a week?
Well, yeah, it's been a week.
3?
1 week.
2? Oh, no, yeah, you were with...
I was here last week.
Yeah,
It's on last
Yeah, actually, I bought XCOM 2 this Saturday, and then Sunday I played 12 hours of it, and now I've played 20 hours of it.
Good man.
So that's pretty much what's been going on.
Has it crushed your soul yet? Has it stepped on you? Have you faced the RNG, looked it in the eyes, and gone, why?
Yeah, I've had a sword hit, 98% chance to hit, miss, everyone dies next time.
Uninstall game.
Yeah. I think the worst one is when you're like standing point blank with a gun, and it's like the image is like the gun's going through the alien's face, and then you click fire, and the gun just points away, and you're like, why?
Yeah, also, the Vipers grabbing people through walls with their tongues.
Oh,
So
the most
logical.
annoying thing, they can grab you when they don't have a position that they can hold you in. So they can grab you and then drop you because they grab you through a wall, and then the wall's between you and them, and they drop you. And then it's like, well, okay.
By the way, you guys might not realize this, but you guys might think the flashbang is completely fucking useless because all it does is disorientate them. But just be aware that when they're disorientated, they can't use their abilities. So they can't use the tongue thing, and they can't use the spit thing, and they can't do any of that.
They can only move or shoot, and their movement
Yeah.
is reduced, and their hit chance is also reduced. It's pretty nifty.
So yeah,
The pro-
on the face of it, flashbangs are useless. But like once you start going into the minutia of how the mechanics work, flashbangs are awesome.
Until you realise that you could have spent that turn killing the last enemy, and you're fine because he's dead.
Yeah, but on the alternate side, if you give it to your heavy guy with a salvo, he can fire it and still fire something else.
Well, you know, it'd be good if I got a heavy to live long enough to have that ability, but I keep dying. So Marcus, you watched any good movies lately? Been watching a series?
Actually, I watched Deadpool last night,
Ah, it's good, isn't it?
and yeah, it's pretty great. It's quite different from what you normally get going to the movies.
Yeah. Well, it was at least good to Deadpool. I mean, it would have been a bit weird if you went and watched the Deadpool movie and there isn't blood everywhere. Okay. Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate Deadpool?
Yeah, I think I'd rate it 10. I couldn't say what I wanted changed about it.
Okay. And have you watched Mad Max, Fury Road, the most recent one?
I have not.
Yes, Kev knows what I'm talking about. Because you should watch that. It's really
10 out of 10, 11 out of 10.
It's so good. Sometimes I even consider watching it again.
Yeah.
And you notice you
so
have no
good.
time and so much other stuff to watch.
It's so good. I've used the Doth Warrior soundtrack on my D&D campaign.
Speaking of soundtracks on campaigns, I'm playing in a Dark Heresy campaign at the moment, and my GM is like on point with handouts and sound in the background. It's really good, except for the fact that last weekend when I was playing, my internet was dying, so it was just the soundtrack of my unhappy tears as I kept dropping in and out. Okay, so let's move on to some gameplay. So, in the world of Beyond the Bridge, there is a mighty empire. Huge, tyrannical, bureaucratic, boring, and dull. It encompasses most of the known land. And at the western edge of this great empire, there is a great river, a natural boundary to the west. However, the Empire, in their wisdom, constructed a massive bridge spanning this water. And that's the land of Beyond the Bridge. A western frontier where adventurers can go out and enjoy a spot of rummaging around in the ancient ruins, the interaction with the local colour, and the occasional, mushroom or two. It's also a place where they send dissidents and exiles, pretty much anyone they don't like, and it's a place where quite a lot of colonists go to escape the Empire. And the Empire's fine with this, because for the most part, it knows that they're going to go out into the western reaches and die, because it's filled with monsters. one such colony is Haven. Haven is this small town ruled over by the Duke von Eristoff. It's a small colony, you know, and it's beginning to grow. It had some recent troubles with the bandit lord Carlo, who had been plaguing the nearby area, but he seems to have mysteriously vanished, as though murdered brutally. There's a tale going round There's a tale going round town that an arrow was put squarely between his eyes, and his fort was burnt down by the Ebon Ring mercenaries, who reached it after all the bandits had been slain. So the Haven is the town where all the players are, grouping up to get going, and we got 3 returning cast here. We have the wonderful. Let me just find you all. We got the wonderful. Oh God, I need my pen. Give me a moment. While I'm going, this is a perfect opportunity for you to introduce yourself and your characters. Mike, who are you playing today, so that I can write it down on my handy dandy book?
As mentioned earlier, Asham Iron Fist, barbarian by trade, because I mastered it. Former gladiator, all-around good guy at beating people up with a massive axe.
Okie dokes. And Honey Badger, who are you playing today?
Wait. His name is Iron Fist, but he beats people up with an axe?
Intelligence is the lowest stat, don't come with logic. His name is Asham Iron Fist because he has Iron Fist. There was a time in the pits where he was just fist fighting, but then he evolved and got an axe.
There was a time
It's more
when he was
efficient.
considering being a monk, but then he realized axe. So, Honey Badger, who are you playing
Right.
today?
Sorry, I was trying to unmute Skype and it froze up on me. I'll be playing Pickle Sandburr. So he's a former cabinet worker. His father worked in cabinetry and carpentry, locksmithing, but his mother's wanderlust left her to wander. So now he's off looking for her, trying to find out what happened to her. He's a thin little halfling, dusty blonde hair, blue eyes, kind of nervous looking. Always like he's looking over his shadow. Or looking over his shoulder.
And are you armed, obviously?
He carries a short bow and a short sword and dagger.
Okay. And Kev, could you please introduce Alana to the audience?
Sure,
Myself?
Alana is a returning character. She's a knowledge cleric of Olgum. Well, quote-unquote cleric of Olgum. Yes, and she's basically made it out here to the west of the bridge. It is west of the bridge, right? Yeah, west of the bridge.
The bridge is to the east.
Yes, and there are a couple of maybe hearsay rumors, or just from third-hand rumors that she's actually a wanted criminal in the Empire for killing someone, but you guys didn't hear exactly what the details are. But yeah, and she has fairly clearly stated that she's out here looking for something, but she doesn't quite know what it is.
Okie dokes. And Marcus, if you could be so kind as to tell us all about Drock.
Yeah, Drock. Well, that's not his real name, but he's a paladin, a tiefling paladin who goes by the name of Drock. He's red-skinned, black-horned, long swishy tail. And yeah.
Okay, so let's find out what you've all been up to since you were last on Beyond the Bridge. So, Mike, what's the Sham been up to?
Sham's obviously been heroically carousing after getting rid of some bandits and cutting some in half vertically, the other horizontally, some diagonally.
And I believe that you, because of your destruction of Carlo and his men, are being bought drinks by the townsfolk, aren't you?
Lots of them.
So if you could be so good as to roll the D100, we'll find out what happens to you.
Yes. Jackpot.
96. You make a small fortune. 46, please. Roll 46. So you start, spending your goodwill drinks, but while you drink, you get dragged into a game. What game of chance do you get dragged into by the townsfolk that are buying you ale and such?
He's not the smartest, so higher or lower number or something like that on the level.
Okay.
No, dice rolling. Always dice rolling because we're D&D.
So dice roll. So you get dragged into a game of dice, and your initial bid is put down for you by someone else. Like someone just leans over, puts some coin on the table, and goes, "Ah, my boy, he was attacked by Carlo's men. Oh, he got an arrow in the thigh. Oh, it took Damien a right while to patch him up. You take the money."
Didn't even feel it.
And then what? 2 weeks later? 2 weeks later, you're sitting on a fortune of 140 golden pieces. Just this like every night when you go to the tavern, they buy you more drinks and you gamble a bit. And there's just townsfolk around town that have been steadily losing. With a small fortune, you probably actually got gambled with by Zhao Di the merchant probably joined you at the table, lost 50 gold or so.
He mad now?
No, he's rich.
Okay.
He probably for a day or two he was a bit sore about it and gave you dodgy looks in the town. But I mean, you killed the bandits. What are you gonna do? So you gain 140 gold pieces. You are
I'm rich now.
really wealthy. Yes. So next up, Alana, what have you been doing in the?
I think she's gone back to returned to her job that before she headed out, she's been teaching people how to read and write.
Okay. So you
yeah,
were doing this previously just for food, weren't you?
Yes. This time I'm gonna do it for gold.
Okay. So so do you perhaps go to the Lord or his seneschal and ask for a stipend to teach the folk?
Yeah, I think so. Or alternatively, she's been going to basically Templar Damien and basically holding lessons in the shrine or the chapel, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Just asking for donations.
Okay. So are you level 2 now, Alana?
Yes, level 2.
Okay, so it's just a D6 times 2 then for you.
D6 times 2 or
A D6 times 2, not 2D6, just a D6 times 2. So it's 2 gold. Yeah, I think it's you went to the temple and received donations. Most people just donate a scrap of bread or a pint of mead or something, but you get a couple of coins here and there. But you're fine, you're alive. Drock, Marcus, what's Glory been up to? In the
Well,
week?
after the complete failure in gaining followers last time, I think he's just been carousing this time.
Okay.
Trying to drown his sorrows.
So you're just dropping 20 gold then?
Yeah.
Okay, dokes.
Come and
So
play with me.
you don't have the goodwill of the people, so it costs you a bit of money to get your drinking habit on the go. But let's see how it works out for you. So just roll a d100. 27. Oh, you've offended someone. Make an enemy. A person, business, or organization is now hostile to you. GM determines the offended party. You decide how you offended them. Ooh, let's see.
The longer the DM thinks, the harder it gets.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Aha. Okay, so if you could be so kind as to roll a d8 real quick, and we'll see who you've managed to annoy. 6. Ooh, it's the townsfolk. The common folk of the town are
Damn it.
angered by you. So what did you do? What did you do so to annoy the townsfolk that they now shun you in the streets? They spit as you pass and give you like squinty eyes. How have you fallen from the good graces of Haven?
Yeah, I imagine I've seen someone, a group of people brawling for fun, and then I thought, this can't stand, this man is being oppressed, and went in maybe a bit too roughly and stopped the fight.
So did you like come over and beat up the winner? Were you drunk when this happened? Was there mitigating circumstances?
No, I don't think so. I just misunderstood the situation. I thought I was saving someone being oppressed.
So did the militia have to break it up? Or did the common townsfolk like shout at you, and when you realised that everyone was shouting at you, you were like, oops?
I think the shouting was enough to stop me.
Okay. And the poor fellow who you gave a black eye and maybe a broken rib, what was his name?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I would have stuck around long enough to hear.
It was obviously Wilhelm.
Cool. Okay, so, like, you buy yourself drinks, you engage in a bit of gambling, you know, and it's all going well until this incident, and then every time you walk in the tavern, it like dries up. People make you feel very unwelcome. You can't find anyone to share a drink with. You can't find anyone to like drink to gamble with. The barman still serves you, but grudgingly, and you get the impression that he's spitting in your drinks or something. Maybe not. Who knows? But so this session begins in the Last Hope. The Bar of Haven.
One day Drock will redeem himself.
So
Day.
Pardon?
One day I will redeem myself.
Hopefully. Okay. So the Last Hope is a large wooden building. It's the only tavern in Haven, called the Last Hope because it's the last hope for good wine, good mead, good ale before you progress any further west and venture out into the true wilderness that lies beyond. There's a stone fire pit in the middle where usually there's roasting pig or venison or something of that nature. And there's this kind of smoky smell in the air. Mounted behind the bar is this fearsome wolf with like ripped skin. The rumour says it's a warg slain by the first adventurers to stride boldly from Haven. The barman is this wiry old man. He's got white hair, looks quite scrawny with like corded muscle, and he's like wiping down tables. And you can see the fine folk of the Ebonwing mercenaries. There's a couple of them that are sitting around a table eating porridge out of a bowl. Other than that, the tavern's pretty empty, except for the adventurers. So, are you all in the tavern? Has one of you gathered a flyer from the tree in the centre of town, or have you been listening to the rumours? Or are none of you in the tavern? Is the tavern bare?
I think if Marcus is already in the tavern, when Alana comes in and sees him holding a flyer or whatever, she joins him because they went on a run last week.
Yeah, and Drock would be very, very happy to see Alana, someone who actually wants to speak to him.
So, when Alana walks in, do you notice that Drock seems perhaps a bit eager for a friendly face?
I think she'd be a little bit oblivious to Drock's predicament.
Okay. And how about the rest of you? Pickle, Asham? Asham, I assume you're in the table just counting stacks of gold coins by the bar.
I have my own booth now. It is my regular place where you can find me. The barman knows what I'm drinking. He always brings it for free, obviously, this week. Yeah, I'm there.
So, Asham, as you're like sat down on your like bench in the corner, the wood like hollowed out where your bottom has sat for a solid week. The barman comes over, picks up your mug and replaces it with another one, and just walks back to the bar, wiping the suds off the table. And as he does, you can see Alana and Durok. I think you travelled with one of them, didn't you? No, it's Joe's Toes. Yeah,
Nope.
yeah. No, it's Joe's Toes, which is the common denominator.
Joe's Toes traveled with everyone.
Yeah. Okay.
He's watching, by the way. Just saying.
Perhaps you just see the piece of paper that Gloria is holding, or like pressed out on the
I
table.
swagger over there because I've been obviously in the tavern, and I see that the tiefling had a hard time in the tavern. I've seen it. I know what's been going on. Go over there with my drink, obviously. Oi, looks like you guys are heading out. You need another person to come along. I mean, someone needs to watch the tiefling's back. He obviously doesn't know what is going on around here.
Alana chuckles and says, "Yeah, well, we could definitely use more. This
Right.
job doesn't seem like it's a two-man operation."
As long as I'm getting paid and there's some ale in it, count me in.
Well, actually, do we know if we're getting paid?
A reward, it doesn't say how much or in what form.
So as you're debating, is there a reward, and you like reread the flyer? What's Pickle up to? Are you in the tavern? Are you just entering, or are you at the bar? I mean, how do you overhear about this mischief that is afoot?
Pickles just arrived in town. Kind of stands out. Sits in a corner, always looking in the shadows. Spinning a single lone gold coin. So, and has an empty flat coin purse on the table next to him.
You're a halfling, right?
Yeah, halfling.
I scream through the tavern, "Hey, small guy, come over here."
He'll look up at you as nervous-sizing, call out,
I
who, me?
wave with my flagon of ale, and I order up another one for the small guy. I'm a dwarf, so small guy is not offensive coming from me.
So you notice as a sham
until
pulls
he
out
starts
for another beer, it just like appears on the table. The barman like slides it in, and you see the barman like go back to behind the bar without asking for payment. It's just ready.
Small guy, not offensive until he starts calling you fat guy.
Oh, then we got a problem.
Pickle pick up his empty coin purse, slip the single gold coin back into it, and wander over next to the barbarian dwarf.
You're new in town,
cool,
right?
for an ale.
You look a bit shifty.
I'm new, yes, but it's so dangerous out here. I've never been this far west.
You wanna face real danger? The other two there and me, we're gonna head out. Always nice to have another guy along, even if he's so small. Can you handle
I
that
don't-
bow of yours? Or those sharp things?
I can handle those, but is it worth it? Is there enough?
Well, we're not exactly sure how much it pays, Alana.
We are hunting for a jewel,
But-
so
But
it must be worth
the letter
some.
the letter literally says it's a crown. So like if they don't pay us, we could literally just pawn the crown for some amount of gold.
I could be king of Haven's Tavern!
I might know a few people who
As-
would
as
be able
you
to
say
buy
that-
something like that.
As you say that, there's a silence, like as there's no one here to cheer other than you, the mercenaries, and the barkeep. So there's just silence. It echoes eerily.
I ignore the silence, still, good joke. I'll run with it. Well, if you can use that bow, just stay right behind me and, well, don't shoot me in the back, that would be nice.
I'm a little bit more skilled than that. Us halflings have a
We'll see
keen
about
eye.
that. I look at the tall fog. So, if the unmentioned reward isn't big enough, I can be king?
Ah,
I
I
mean, I can buy you out.
Yeah,
I-
sure.
I pat
you
my
can buy-
massive
you
gold
can buy
pouch.
the-
I can buy you out in
you
the
can
end
buy
if you
the
don't
crown.
want it.
Yes, you can buy the crown. Yes.
I like this.
Okay, so
We say as we watch his massive pile of gold that's in front of him.
jingle, jingle, jingle.
Oh, it's tied closely to my belt pouch, and I have massive muscular arms. You don't even want to try.
So, the letter that you're referring to, I'll read it out for the audience. Hi there, audience, if you're watching this, and also to remind myself mainly. So, the quest you're thinking of venturing out and taking on is the Jewel of the Collection. There was a letter nailed to the tree which read, "Bold and reliable men sought, for the right price, to recover what is sure to be the pinnacle of my collection. I have learned that the crown of the 4 tribes now resides in the hands of the dead. However, blight lies upon the battlefield where it rests, and brave men have entered its twisted corpses, not to emerge. Should anyone wrest this valuable prize from their hands, seek me out, and we shall discuss the right price. Nobor, curator of curios." And the rumor that is floating around town is that this was delivered by a rider who came from the west, and so like someone rode up into town on a horse and like stuck this to the tree with a big hearty nail. So yeah, that's what your plan is. So
Do we know this Norbor? Is he in town?
Nobor is not known to any of you.
Okay.
You know that Zhao Di perhaps may know more, as there have been riders which have entered from the west before, which have stopped at Zhao Di's like merchant stand. But other than that, there's Nobor, and you, Alana, may or may not remember a fellow called Joran, who I referred to as Joran the Moneybags. You didn't actually meet him, but he was there when your party was out there.
I heard rumors of.
Yeah, he was the man in the pavilion to the west with the sexist barbarian guards.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I love the fact that no matter what they were, they are now the sexist barbarians. That's their name.
I wrote that on the map.
I know. I saw. So what's the plan?
I suggest we talk to Zhao Di. That old blabbermouth knows everything and everyone, especially if it involves money.
We'll ask him if he knows where we can find Nobor. I mean, there's no point of grabbing the crown if we don't have anyone to bargain it with.
Also, I want to set the price before I go and risk my behind.
Okay. So,
yeah.
Or I just take the crown. Offer still stands.
So do you all rise from your position and head out to
we go the
I empty my flagon in one.
Glob. It disappears into your.
Then I look at the one I just bought, the halfling, and see if he's actually drinking it. Looking kind of tempted.
Oh yeah, he's definitely downed it.
Slightly sad on the inside, I walk along.
Okie dokes. So Zhao Di's general store is the main place for barter in Haven, other than independent operators. There are barrels outside filled with rakes and hoes and scythes, and there's big sacks of grain, and there's a couple of other crops that are slowly coming in. And as you walk inside, there's weapons and all manner of tools and such, and a massive suit of plate mail, sized for a human. And it's, pretty plain looking, but you can see hanging off it a price tag that reads 3,000 Imperials. Zhao Di is standing behind the counter. He's big man, 6'6", human, muscled with tattoos going down his arms. He's wearing leather black doublet that's like torn off at the arms with the symbol of a bird on its breast. And as you walk in, he smiles broadly and goes, "Hello! Hey! Oh, Asham! You have to give me a chance to win my money back."
Only if you give me the chance to win more from you.
Oh, you better believe I'll give you a chance to win more. But trust me, you ain't taking me for a fool twice. I'm onto your little trick now.
What trick are you talking about? The Lady Luck is my new friend.
Yeah! You've been buying Lady Luck drinks all night!
Well, you know me, I'm a ladies' man.
Oh, God. Anyway, what can I do for you? Can I interest you in something?
Yeah, information as always.
We show him
You
the
know a
flyer.
fellow
that-
called... I don't
yeah,
know.
we
his
show
name.
him the flyer, and then we point to it, and we ask him, "Do you happen to know who this Nobor curator of curios is?"
No. And he has like that, you know when people like chew tobacco and they're like, he has that face and he's like, no, not per se. His reputation has reached me and I know where you could find him.
Would this be?
Well, would it be worth a favor from you?
It would
Well-
depend what the favor would be.
Simply a recommendation. If you're speaking to Nobor, then you are within the confines of his walls. And the ability to do business with his peers would greatly, well, weight in my purse.
So Ilana, like at the mention of walls, she kind of perks up a bit and says, "Can you describe these walls and what's behind them?"
Do I have your word that you'll speak to
Yes,
his peers?
Wait a second. If we make advertisements for you, how about you give us a small discount since we're then obviously part of your outfit here and working for you?
Whoa, 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 says Xiaodi. Discount?
I know you
Your
can't spell that
tongue.
word. I can't either. It's a big word, but we can figure something out.
I mean, maybe a one-time proposal, but a discount, that's simply out of the question. And he like, rubs his beard and goes, yeah, that battle axe you wield, it's got a good haft of wood, but it's not ever-burning wood.
Oh my god.
I've heard that spiel. Get out of here, Jati.
Ah! And
I'm not like that shifty fellow that walks around into the dark corners and tries to form some cult. You can sell him your ever-burning wood, but not me. I'm Asham Iron Fist. I know what's up.
Okay. I'll pay you then. 25 gold.
Done.
Excellent. The man you're talking about, Nobor, the creator of curios, he resides in a small fortress, a settlement called Itablot. It lies to the west, and I'm led to believe that those that dwell within are quite wealthy, but I've not managed to secure any trade with them. This blasted wilderness is dangerous enough, but if the caravanners do not know that they're going to be welcomed when they reach their destination, they simply refuse to travel.
And that old
Is this,
battlefield that the letter mentions, is that somewhere around that place?
Say that again?
That old battlefield that this letter mentions, is it somewhere around this place?
I don't know where the battlefield mentioned is. But
So I described to him what I called the Bandit Bailey, but like
yeah. So you described the Bandit Bailey to him, and he looks at you without comprehension. He goes,
okay, so it's not the thing that he's talking about there.
he tells you, no, I've not been to Ethelblood, but I spoke with a rider from. There's a camp. There's a oh god, let me find the map. There's a camp within half a day's march of Ethelblood. It's to the north of the camp, and I've spoken with a rider from there, and he says there are buildings around the outside, houses. It has a palisade wall around the exterior, and there are more houses within, and a keep. It seems to be some sort of settlement. I do not, in truth, know the manner of people which dwell within, but the rumour is that there is a hefty amount of gold to be made in trade.
Talking
think I
about
know-
gold.
I think I know the camp you refer to.
He says, there's a man in the camp. I'm told his name is Jurun, something like that. If you can find the camp, the Etablot is northeast, I think. And he like rubs his face and he's trying to remember, obviously, a conversation he's had. He goes, I think it's northeast of the camp.
Everyone is scribbling everything down. Well,
All right,
wonderful then. Does-
Everyone's writing.
Does any one of you need something? I mean, besides obviously ever burning wood that is useful in the total scam.
Oh, hey, what do you mean a total scam? What's a total scam? Is how many dice rolls you won.
Well,
I mean, come on.
as I said, I'm a ladies'
If I
man
hadn't
and Lady
changed
Luck
the
is
dice, I would've
my
thought they were
friend.
weighted.
Well, they were yours. Obviously, they were weighted.
Well, then I should have won. Why did you win?
Well, you're not good enough.
Oh, the Jowdy like buries.
We will
his
see
face in the palm.
next time in the tavern. I will give you a chance to play again.
Excellent, and he like runs. his
I
face
look at
again.
my fellow travelers. You need anything?
No. Yeah.
I think we are ready.
I think one of you mentioned they were at this battlefield once.
Yes, Lana. I think I know of the battlefield which this document speaks of.
What can we think
Say,
of encountering there? Might we just pay a visit to the abbey and get some holy water or something?
Well, I'm
They're a
unsure.
bit low on the holy water at the abbey, so
Can
won't
I
be able
can
to
I
get it.
make a nature check or some sort of intelligence check to remember what I know of the fungus?
What
that
you
we
remember,
encountered.
you don't need to make a roll. What you remember is that you saw evidence of ambulatory fungi that was predatory in nature, and I think the specific wording was you had heard tell that there was some sort of fungus that devoured humans whole, stripping the very flesh from their bones with acidic tendrils.
Yeah,
It was something
I
like
refer that to them, and I say the battlefield is that we saw was quite large with at least 200 or 300 slain soldiers. These fungi have been going amongst the corpses, and I don't know. I guess they use them as either food or breeding ground or something.
So
I'm
the
not an
question that
expert
we
on
faced is, do we go there first and get the jewel and then sell it? Or do we go to this Joran guy who then tells us more about it, and then we go there and get it and then sell it to the curator? Or do we go to the curator first?
I'd go
I
directly
suspect
for the
from-
crown.
I suspect from Zaldi's description of this place, we won't even be able to get in without showing up with the crown.
Yeah.
That's
And
what I
And
thought.
also, We-
Zhao Di nods as you say this and goes, I have had men that I have sent to beseech the merchants there. They have been turned away at the gate. They gave me excuses. I expect you to do better. Asham! Just think, when I pay you, you can lose the money to me.
How
Just think, I know where that money came from. There's more. Just come in my
Alana-
way.
Ilana kind of smiles mischievously and turns towards Zaldi and says, "Well, how much we do better might be in proportional to how we're getting paid."
Say that again?
I like that, lass.
So I said, how much we do better may be in proportional to how much we are getting paid.
Okay. So I think, is there anything else that anyone wants to do in town? Because I think the next step is to take a break and then start travel.
Yep.
Sure.
So,
Sounds good to me.
nothing else going on?
Is everyone good on rations? It should be, I'd say, about 4 or 5 days plus.
I have
just
4
on the
days,
safe
and that's
side.
it.
Yeah, so you may want to buy. Yeah, give yourself a bit of a buffer. Buy like
How much
8
is the
days or
ration
10
at
days.
Jowdy's?
I think
Um,
it's
2 days rations for 1 gold piece.
Yeah, I just buy 12 of them and hand some to each of you. I don't know who's lacking. I give 5 to the halfling, 3 to the others. No, that's 13. Yeah.
When you hand them to him, he kind of seems to stagger a little under the extra weight. If you'd be so kind as to carry these for me.
And I think we've lost Asham. So this is a good point to take a 5-minute break and return in a second. So
All right.
everyone stare awkwardly at the camera.